A major gun trafficking bust involving a group of aspiring rappers.
All right, that operation allegedly brought dozens of firearms from Georgia.
87 guns were purchased in all by the group, including members of the Brooklyn-based Blixky Gang.
What up, gang? Back with the real. You know what's the deal. The feds are at it again, boys. Another rap group indicted and facing years behind bars and careers down the drain. Who this time? The infamous Blixky Gang. Started in the trenches, grind through the streets, make a name for themselves, only to get into more beefs, engage in shootouts, lose core members to the streets, and now indicted on gun trafficking charges. One by one, law enforcement is taking down rappers, and the Blixky Gang made crucial mistakes that got some of their members taken down. Let's dive into the gun bust, chop it up, and break it down to see where Blixky Gang went wrong and how their trafficking operation supplying New York fell apart. August 2020, officers set into motion a special operation to track down the ones responsible for the influx of guns into the streets of New York. The operation would run right up to April 2021, almost a year later, and what they found was a pile of evidence that led them right to the doorstep of 9 unlucky persons, most being members of the Blixky Gang. Enforcement would track the guns from what they say is a so-called straw purchaser in Georgia. A straw purchaser is defined as someone who purchases guns for someone else, typically someone who cannot pass a background check, such as a felon or a juvenile. What this means is that it's illegal by federal law to make false statements on gun purchase forms, including lying about who the true buyer is. This is where the Blixky Gang messed up and screwed themselves over. The Justice Department went on the hunt, putting their secret operation into play. After tracking down the movements of the buyer, officers connected the dots right back to the Blixky Gang after recovering at least 87 firearms. The Blixky Gang associates included 8 men and 1 woman. Blixky Gang always talks to smoke, but seems they were with the smoke for show as well. They were really out here supplying the trenches with extensions. As law enforcement states, the Blixky Gang was running an interstate gun trafficking ring in which defendants in New York received orders for specific guns from customers here and elsewhere. Things were all well and good until the Blixky Gang made 2 crucial errors in their business of operation, which we'll dive into in a bit. Lisa O. Monaco, the Deputy United States Attorney General, at a news conference in Manhattan, went on to state that the Justice Department wants to do everything possible to break up the well-worn trafficking routes that have too often allowed guns to be diverted to the illegal market and channeled into communities like New York, and she stood on that. But there was something that was the main drive to launching such an aggressive operation. Can you guess what it is? Everyone knows, even civilians, that you shoot at a cop and the law will rain down hell on whoever's responsible. Blixky Gang got carried away, maybe thinking they were untouchable, or maybe got caught up in too much heat to let their reputation as being with whatever be tainted. One of the firearms found included one that was fired at police officers in the Bronx. That's gonna come back to haunt them even harder in court, but that's the battlefield you play on when in the streets. Even if they didn't directly shoot the gun, their names are involved in the indictment as being a main part of the scheme, so their name takes the blame just as hard. The Deputy United States Attorney General broke down the details of the task force. Once police officers were in harm's way with the import of these guns, they made a super team led by United States attorneys who would collaborate with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, police departments, and authorities. It went as deep as digging up old evidence from an investigation in the past. You might be wondering, but how did they even connect this back to the Blixky Gang? Well, they found their smoking gun, the straw purchaser. It's crazy how the streets condemn snitching, but in 99.9% of cases where street dudes get put in the pen, it's because someone was singing like Tweety Bird. The one who cooperated with officers and led law enforcement to the Blixky Gang was a guy by the name of Devon Wilson. According to the indictment, Wilson used his own name to purchase the guns from at least 6 licensed sellers in Georgia, but signed forms attesting that he was not buying them on behalf of other people. This brought 2 other key players under the radar of the law. Accomplices James Thomas, aka Spaz, and Courtney Schloss, aka B-Way, aka Balenci. Schloss was apprehended by officers as one of the persons that placed orders for firearms, but these guns went right into the hands of what law enforcement says is the Brooklyn-based group of aspiring rappers known as the Blixky Gang. Once on the trail of the Blixky Gang, investigators did what they do best: wait and let rappers put themselves in their spider web. How? Rappers are unable to not post and show guns, and that's how they linked the guns to the Blixky Gang. Turns out, the Blixky Gang were supplying the streets for real. One music video officers used as evidence for the indictment was Word to Folk by Cho rappers Saint Laurent Sauer and Tay 627. Another was Saint Laurent Sauer's music video, Guns in the Booth. How ironic. The videos were guns galore. Director really said, you get a strap, he gets a strap, everybody gets a strap, on some street Oprah shenanigans. Blixky Gang thought they had it all figured out. The plan was put together smoothly and probably working for years before law enforcement picked up on it. The straw purchaser would buy the weapons, then transfer the firearms to Spaz and B-Way and others who sold some of the guns in Georgia and transported other firearms, primarily by bus, to New York for resale. In one instance, weapons were placed at the bottom of a backpack and concealed them with t-shirts. It was all mapped out, but you flash guns and money every chance you get, and it places you under the eyes of the law. Worse yet, trying to murk police officers with those same guns. In February 2021, the police seized a .22 caliber handgun after a fleeing suspect discharged it 3 times at officers in the Bronx. The indictment states that Wilson bought the gun in Georgia last September. And if that wasn't bad enough, authorities seized 4 firearms, including a Smith & Wesson .40 caliber pistol, while executing a search warrant in connection with the arrest of a man wanted for a hit in Brooklyn. The indictment said Wilson also bought that gun in Georgia last September. Wilson was the hood gun runner, and he became the one that would bring down those same people he supplied to. The indictment will list the persons that got caught up thus far in the task force gun trafficking operation. Investigators had their government names right down to their street names. They really went at them hard, no pause. Spaz, Dupree, B-Way, aka Balenci, Sauer, Sosa, Chris Elite, White Girl, Mel, and the Blixky member whose real name is Ken, but nicknamed Ryu, the perfect disguise, shattered. Law enforcement's got another one locked and sealed. They've really been going demon time and applying pressure. I'm starting to think they know something rappers don't because they're cocky as hell with it too. Just last week, Sheriff Grady Judd of the Polk County Sheriff Department released a rap video dissing and taunting his ops that he locked up. That's after he flexed on a live television conference with their chains on after arresting them.
They thought they were cool. Well, how cool are you today? Can y'all make up a rap song about this? Well, I'll help you out. You see, we got you gold. We put your tail in the county jail.
Man is a menace to society. City officers up 100 points right now on the streets. Illegal weapons have long played a crucial role in the streets of New York City, and authorities are tired of it and putting in that work to reverse a sharp rise in shootings that began during the pandemic. As of August 1st, New York City recorded 900 shootings, compared with 777 at the same time last year, a 16% increase, and the most for the time of year since 2003. This is according to police department data. There's only so long you can play the street game and live that lifestyle before it comes full circle. Unfortunately for the Blixky Gang, they're the ones to take the fall this time. They've been feeling it back to back lately and not being able to capitalize off their high profile buzz. They lost Nick Blixky.
4:43, breaking news out of Brooklyn, where a popular rapper was shot and killed overnight. Nick Blixky was discovered with gunshot wounds on Winthrop Street.
They lost Lou Blixky. They've been fighting inside their own camp. Cho affiliate Coach the Ghost stripped Envy Kane of being a GD.
Poison is no longer part of the tree. You get me? So whatever this nigga had going on ain't got nothing to do with GD or Cho.
At all.
Nothing. You heard?
And now, this indictment. Things aren't looking too good. Nas Blixky is still trying to keep the name alive, but seems the industry has the Blixky Gang blackballed.
The industry and everybody that's in it, you feel me, it's all against us, you feel me? I don't know why, but niggas just against us.
All hopes rest again on the shoulders of Blixky Gang OG, 22 G's.